service projects. Yes. So let me tell you what a service project is. First of all, it is not a service project. If you read the slide, it tells you it is a community service project. These three words are really important because many people in turn post projects, which in turn can be credited with service hours. This is the only form of content on the SDG Hub where the individual can secure service hours in their account. And as I mentioned, it should in turn involve direct community benefit. By direct community benefit, I mean the people who are in turn securing benefit out of the activity should be the community. It should not only be other scouts. So it in turn involves benefiting non scouts. It in turn involves benefiting the society. For example, many of us did service during the coronavirus pandemic, and this form of service can in turn be treated as community beneficial services. Apart from this, to conducting public awareness rallies, distributing masks, all of this can in turn be understood where community is deriving direct benefit and hence it can be eligible for getting service hours. So, before you tell us more about your project, you need to map your project with different elements. And the first one is, what is your project about? As I mentioned, there will be a lot of topics like peace and engagement, uh, environment and sustainability, skills for life, health and well being. So, you need to match your service project with the most appropriate topic and you need to choose a title. It can be as simple as coronavirus service, mass distribution, going green. All of these are some basic examples that you can use. Yes. So, even before you tell us more and get service hours, it is important for us to in turn know where was the project conducted. For country, it will be defaultly marked as India. Apart from that, we would suggest that you mention your state, city, or town accompanied by the zip code. I would suggest this because it will help people actually understand and comprehend where was the service project executed. Because if I tell India, it is very, very vague. It can be anywhere across the country. But when I say it is in India, it is in Rajasthan, it is in Jaipur, it is in this place, then I will be able to in turn understand yes, the service project has happened in this location and it has in turn impacted this specific community. And we have an option about funding. Many a times, the funding that we secure for our projects needs to be disclosed on the hub, whether it is in turn sponsored by your district unit or by yourself or by any of the funders. It does not ask for how much funding has been secured, but it will ask you whether your project has been funded by any third party organization or entity. This is just for the purpose of disclosure so that public knows how the money that has been spent has been derived. Apart from that, moving on, we come to the most important part, that is calculating service hours. You would have seen accounts or you would have seen projects which have thousands of service hours or hundreds of service hours. But do you think that we can actually credit it? The answer is this simple formula. And this formula, when applied properly, will automatically calculate the eligible number of service hours. You need to mention when did your project start and when did your project end. So when you mention both of these, the total number of working days is calculated by the website. You don't need to do anything. You just need to mention when did you start and when did you end. The rest will be taken care of the website. Apart from this, the number of hours you have worked per day. This is a place where many people tell 10 hours, 12 hours, 16 hours, 18 hours, and so on. But generally, the norm of the website is to provide 6 to 8 service hours per day per individual. The basic objective behind we giving only 6 to 8 hours is because we want you to not overstrain yourself while doing service. We aspire that you balance other commitments with service, and hence we would be giving 6 to 8 hours per day. And if you see the example here, I have written 6 hours per day. This is generally the acceptable limit that we agree in the hub. And lastly, the number of participants. And this is a very common mistake that we notice that individuals make in the number of participants. Out here, the number of participants means the number of scouts who were involved, the number of volunteers who were involved. So, for example, I and my patrol are going out for a service project, then I put the number as 8. So, it is important for us to understand who are participants. Participants are generally scouts or volunteers who have in turn helped you execute the project. By participants, I don't mean how many people in the project were involved totally. It could be 10,000, 5,000. That is not our concern. Our concern is how many people in turn supported the project and were helped in the execution process. So, if we understand these three elements, we will have the formula that is 5 into 6 into 8, according to this example, calculating the service hours to be 240. I will let you know what is the maximum number of service hours that we can credit to an individual's account and why we do that. Because many projects come with really good content, really good photographs, but they in turn come with thousands of service hours, which in turn is inadmissible at times. Moving forward, we will say how many number of people have benefited from your project. And this is where we can put large numbers if applicable. For example, I have done an afforestation drive in a nearby village. I and my patrol, that is 8 members, have gone there. But because of the project, the entire village, which has more than 600 people, is benefited. So I can mention 600 people have benefited from my project. It is important for all of us to understand that 600 number here is beneficiaries. They were not participants. Participants, as I mentioned and remind you, is scout volunteers who have helped you execute the project. And the beneficiaries are those who have in turn derived benefit, advantage from your project. And lastly, it will ask you, are there any other team members submitting the same project? Although, as I mentioned, that we are restricted to give specific number of service hours, we do not want duplication of content. This is because you open the hub, you see 8 same projects with the same number of service hours, then the service hours is 8 times the actual number. So we strongly discourage participants, especially working in a group or patrol, to upload same projects again and again. And if you think, okay, it is difficult for a person to find out, the website does it. Using technology, it will analyze similar and same content posted by the same group, and hence it is required for you to disclose whether any other member of the group is in turn uploading the project so that we can split the service hours. We would approve your projects, but with the division of service hours so that it is not multiplied and recorded in the system. Apart from this, you need to write a little bit amount of content on what inspired you to start the project. Many of us on general notice, right? It is scouting. I do agree that, and I also do that. But apart from scouting, you will be having one or more reasons why you did this project. It could be addressing any issue in the community or your personal inclination towards any specific topic, or it could be your friend or anyone who has suggested you to do it. So I would suggest that including scouting, you can add one or two more reasons which actually inspired you to do the project. And if you think there is nothing, it is fine. You don't need to actually copy paste content. Apart from this, you need to tell us how did you execute your project. And this is one of the most important things that we will be looking forward for before approving any project. So you need to tell us the plan of action. How did you organize the project? Who all helped you there? And in turn, supported you for executing the project. Remember, execution means how did you actually do it? So you need to give us details. How did you plan? How did you collect resources? How did you utilize resources? So this specific thing means you have to tell us what your plan of action was. Moving forward, there is something known as measurable impacts. As I mentioned that we have specific project beneficiaries, we also need to measure what impact that we as scouts have created. So there are different measurement units. It could be number of people, for example, who benefited, or for example, I'm organizing a tree plantation drive. This is a very simple one that we can all understand. So I need to put the units as number of items or number of trees, and I tell that I have planted 25 trees, and the impact is cleaner surroundings and it is impacting 600 people. This is really important because we need to start measuring how much have we contributed to the society. If you say everyone has planted trees, a person planting 1,000 trees and a person planting 10 trees will in turn have the same content. So we need to differentiate how much of an impact have they produced on the society. And lastly, you will be asked for learnings. And as scouts, no matter how experienced we are, we face challenges. We face problems in executing our projects. It could be weather, it could be lack of support. All of these things will in turn help us learn a lot. And this will in turn inspire other people to take up projects and also for them to avoid mistakes. So this is one more crucial content that we will be looking forward for. What have you learned from this project? It could be teamwork, it could be time management, it could be resource mobilization, it could be taking legal permissions. All of these are some of the things that you can mention here. And lastly, your cover photograph, as I showed you, with the entire group. For example, I say 8 people have gone and worked. The cover photo can include a banner or 8 people standing together. This is really important because it will help us determine how many participants were there, how many scout volunteers were there. And apart from this, gallery. This is important. as I showed you, action photographs, because this will be serving as your proof of work. Any person, me and you, can write content, but we cannot create the work that we did through photos. It is important for us to upload correct photographs so that we will be able to evaluate the work that you've done. And as I told, photos tell a story in itself. With this, we come to the conclusion of uploading a service project. So let us revise before we move forward. Selecting the topics, writing a title, telling us where your project was conducted, who funded your project, how many service hours will be calculated, what inspired your project, how did you execute your project, the measurable impact, learning, and photos. It is a very, very simple process, but it requires adequate amount of content and photographs to support your proof of work. These are some of the examples of projects that have been approved on the scout.org. So if you see, the title is very, very simple: Unite Against Drug Abuse. So it tells me that this is an anti-drug campaign, and it tells how many participants were there. And if you see the photographs, there are at least 50 scouts and guides. So it serves as proof. Yes, there are 50 different people. And the number of service hours they've asked is for 3 service hours per individual. That tells the rally took place for a period of 3 hours. And if you multiply it, 50 into 3, it is 150 service hours. And remember, this was done only for one day. Apart from that, the beneficiaries, they've put it as 2,000 people. So it tells that at least they have reached a small village or a small community of 2,000 individuals. And location, if you see, they've put it as India. Apart from that, as I mentioned, all of you can put your respective states, city, town with your PIN code so that it will help us identify the root area of project implementation. Apart from this, you will see the topics of civic engagement, youth engagement, and health mentioned there. You can see the content, you can see the photographs, especially the action photographs, indicating that specific actions were taken during the course of the event. And this is one more service project where around 30 different participants were involved. If you see the photograph, you will be shocked. You will say, there are more than 30 people. But if you can actually spot the difference between a participant and a beneficiary, you will see that adult leaders who have trained others are participants. The adult leaders who have learned are the beneficiaries. And this is one more example of Odisha state where they say they're cleaning the beach and creating awareness. And if you see, the number of participants is 100. And the same can be verified through the photograph that they have uploaded. You can see the cover photograph, you can see the action photographs. And this is something that we're looking forward for, where scouts are in turn performing service actions. We don't want them to actually pose and take a photograph. Instead, we want their working photographs because it creates a greater impact. Yes, a very important thing that I would like to mention to all of you, that is, many of us might have language barriers. And India, being a diverse country, we don't have one specific language of proficiency. And hence, the STG hub, being as diverse and as inclusive as possible, is accessible for Learning is accessible for uploading content in all regional languages. So if I want to learn in Hindi, I can just go to the left side top corner of the STG hub and select language option and change it from English to Hindi, or English to Kannada, or English to Bengali, or English to Telugu, any language. So you will be able to learn in your own language, and you will be able to write content in your own language. And if you ask me, how is this beneficial? How will others understand? It's a very, very simple process of translation. And we believe that many young people can express their stories better in their mother tongue or language proficiency. We want to preserve that authenticity of content, and hence this option has been made available to everyone. So, whatever we did till now, it can be accessed in any language without anyone having to fear that we need English as a medium of communication. That is no more. You can in turn use any of your regional languages to learn as well as upload content. So, I would encourage all of you to try this feature, which is available on the left side top corner of the STG hub. Yes, a very, very interesting topic that many of us are willing to in turn get. That is the Messengers of Peace ring badge. Different countries have different requirements. So does India. For a scout or guide of the Bharat Scouts and Guides to secure the Messengers of Peace ring badge, they need to upload 5 service projects. This is a minimum. There is no maximum limit because we would like to encourage you to maximize your service content updation. And out of these 5 service projects, you should have got a minimum of 100 service hours. If you satisfy both of these criteria, that is 5 service projects, 100 service hours, then you will be eligible to get the Messengers of Peace ring badge. And remember, all these projects and service hours should be registered in your account. That means it should be approved before actually getting the badge. Many of us might have just uploaded our content, it would have not been approved, and hence we might lose out on this. The link to the form where you can actually apply for your Messengers of Peace ring badge is on the screen. After this, you will be securing an interview and a project verification call, which will in turn see what you as an individual have done for sustainable development goals, what is your learnings, and how you have been able to create an impact on the society. After all of this is when you will be eligible to receive the Messengers of Peace ring badge. I would like to repeat myself: 5 projects, 100 service hours, approved and registered in your account. Once you fill the form, an interview call, and once that is done, you will be getting the Messengers of Peace ring badge. Okay, so this is some fun facts where India stands in STG Hub. There are many countries which in turn upload a lot of projects and have a lot of service hours. But India is one of those few countries which has logged maximum number of service hours and has done majority of the service projects. And we as the Bharat Scouts and Guides should be really proud that India has logged more than 41 million service hours and has contributed more than 36,000 projects. It is very few countries who have in turn achieved this feat on SDG Hub. And I hope that we continue to keep the momentum going and try to approve more and more service projects and maximize our contribution towards sustainability. Yes. So many of you might be wondering, how will many people get thousands of service hours, hundreds of service hours? And this is the solution that I can give you. We have seen an individual account where a maximum of 8 people can take service hours together in one account. That is not beyond a patrol. So any service actions done by yourself or by your patrol members only can come to you as an individual. After this comes the hierarchy, the unit level, the local association level, district association level, and state association level. So when multiple patrols of the same unit in turn undertake a service project, then we believe that it is not possible for everyone to get service hours individually. As I mentioned, it will create a lot of duplication. And hence, to avoid that, when service projects are being conducted at the unit level, we encourage the creation and utilization of a unit level account. This can be managed by the unit leader. Moving forward, when multiple units in turn combine to take projects at the local level, then such projects can be uploaded by the local association. And when multiple local associations come together and specific actions are taken as a district together, all of this can in turn be updated in the relevant district association account. Apart from this, state association account. So when a lot of these initiatives are implemented at the state level, then such projects can be claimed by the state. So many of you might feel, okay, why is this happening? This is because we don't want any specific individual to take credit of everyone. For example, I could have attended a state level jamboree and I would have served in the STG hub. But it will be highly unfair for me to claim the service hours of all the volunteers from across the state. It is unfair. And hence, to avoid this, the same project can be uploaded by the state. Some examples of this can be, the first example is, this is a unit level account. If you see, there are 50 participants and the entire service hours of this goes to the institution or group, so that all the 50 people are not claiming 50 times the service hours. Moving forward, this is a district account. So you can see this training course has been organized by the district and it has participants from various different local associations. And hence, to ensure that it is not unfairly divided, all the service hours will be credited to the district account. Moving forward, you can see this is the official account of the Odisha state. When a large number of participants from different districts participate in a service project, then the state can take the responsibility of uploading that project and claiming the service hours. So there is no limit to the number of service hours here because there is large number of participants who are involved. And the service hours is not going to one individual. So it is going to the respective state, district, unit, or local association to ensure that there is no unfair division or unfair credit distribution of a project. I would recommend all of you to set up your unit, local association, district, and state accounts if they are not on the SDG hub. And coming towards some last part of the presentation, there are a few things that I would recommend that all of you avoid so that you are not rejected, your project is not rejected on the SDG Hub. And these are extremely simple things. And the first one includes duplication. The website is extremely smart and can detect duplicate projects within seconds. So, for example, I upload a project and my friend uploads the same project, then it will be deemed as a duplicate because he's copying everything of what I've done and uploading the same project. And hence, the project of my friends will be rejected based on the grounds of duplication because the same number of service hours will be counted twice, thrice, four times, multiple times. And to avoid this, the website is equipped to detect and automatically reject duplication of projects. Repetition. Many times, for example, I have uploaded a service project, it goes to the hub, but I see, okay, there is a mistake. So I upload the project again with correcting the mistake. And this will lead to repetition. One person uploading a project multiple times. And this is also not recommended. Instead, the solution to this is using the updation feature. You can anytime visit your project and edit the content that you have written. You can edit the photographs that you have posted. And once that is done, your project will be automatically updated. And hence, there is no need for repetition. You can update instead of repeat. Irrelevant content. This is something that we are seeing on the hub on a regular basis. Posting any commercial ads or school related activities which is not linked to scouts is something that is prohibited on the website. You can share something related to sustainability and what scouts are doing, but not copy pasting any YouTube videos or any other activities or commercial promotions which are irrelevant to the hub. Again, the hub is equipped with technology to detect and reject such activities or projects. Photos. Many of us will write amazing content, really happy ones, but we will not be uploading relevant photographs and we will not be uploading photographs where the faces are visible and where the actions are visible. And because of the poor photo quality or due to the lack of photographs, we will be not in a position to approve your project. And as I mentioned earlier, a minimum of 3 photographs is highly recommended. And lastly, referencing and duplication. Many people copy paste content of other countries and show it as their own service project. And this is highly unacceptable because we cannot duplicate the content of other countries and show it as ours. This includes the content, photographs, title, everything copy pasted. And hence, the website will automatically reject such applications. And lastly, yes, I know you have seen a lot of me and you have heard a lot of me, but there's something that's really very exciting. That is the Scout Pass. As I mentioned, all of us can earn digital recognition from the website. But have you ever thought, where do we store it? Which is the place for us to actually get all the recognition? That is this application, Scout Pass. Scout Pass is available on Android Play Store and iOS App Store for download. You can be logging in through your SDG accounts to get the digital challenge badges. For example, Scouts Go Solar, Earth Tribe, Messengers of Peace, Skills for Life. All these badges will be deposited in your account and hence will be a permanent digital identity. Apart from this, the application can in turn be used to create local troops and address and create badges for local events. All of this can be done when all the unit members are part of the Scout Pass and they can create a community within themselves. Apart from all of this, the Scout Pass in turn has a lot of skills that all of us can learn from. Like activities, it has various skills that you can achieve and record in your account. And finally, Scout Pass can be used to connect with international scouts. It serves as your scout.org ID, which can be utilized for you to network and connect to individuals from other countries. So, I would request all of you to in turn download the Scout Pass and explore all its wonderful features for you to build your network, skills, and also record all your digital recognition. So this brings us to the end of the presentation.